Are you looking for ways to earn extra income? If so, in this series, I'm going to start sharing tips and strategies that part-time notary signing agents use to grow their signing agent business around their current work schedule. I mean, how would an additional $1,000 a month change your life? How would you like to work for yourself and build a business around your current work schedule, around your time and your family? Look, I know how difficult it can be to start something new, let alone your own business. Am I gonna have enough time? Is this gonna work? What if I fail? It's scary, but remember this, every notary signing agent you see today started with the exact same fears. The key is to understand that this business is designed to be a low risk and low investment with a high reward business, allowing you to grow at your own pace while maintaining your current work schedule. But before we dive in, remember to subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. This way, you won't miss out on any of our upcoming episodes, where we will share real stories, practical tips, and proven strategies to balance your time and grow your notary signing agent business. So let's get started. My name is Mark Wills. I'm the largest signing agent coach in America. If you want to learn JoAnn's #1 tip on how to help build a successful part-time business, you're going to want to watch this video. JoAnn, how are we doing today?
I'm doing great.
How much money did you make part-time last month?
Last month, I had my largest month, my best month, and I made $5,500.
So
Correct.
when I say you built a $5,000 a month business working part-time, and I say that back to you, what type of emotions come through your body and your mind when you just kind of take that in?
Man, I'm proud of myself, man. With all the life struggle and everything that's going on, if I could still do that, come on now, sky's the limit.
What a lot of people can't tell by the video is because you look absolutely beautiful, as you are 58 years young. And so I want to talk to people, who are in a more wiser years, because I feel like there's a little bit of people who may not feel like this business is for them because they're 58, 60, 65. So I think your story is really encouraging and inspirational. You are retired, and this is a good part-time income in your retirement years, but you were kind of forced to be retired. So I don't want to tell your story. Take us back to when you were retired. Share your story. Where were you? How did you feel? What started all this?
Well, I worked at the post office for 28 years, and I had some injuries. I had to have surgery on my hand, surgery on my shoulder, and then they wanted to do my back and neck, and I just had to tap out. And so I retired early. So of course, my retirement wasn't nowhere near what I thought it would be. And I just felt dismayed because working all my life, since I was 15, I was afraid to become a burden to my family, to my husband, and not being able to hold my own weight. I felt like my body was failing because I don't think I mentioned this, but at 43, I had a heart attack. And yeah, and no one knows why. And it came out the blue. And then I started having these injuries, and I was diagnosed with a chronic illness. And it was just all these things back to back to back. And I just was like, dang, why this is happening to me? And I had to get out of that headspace because I've never been like a negative person. So to feel that it was scary. So I just felt a little bit hopeless, and this just fell in my lap. I knew I didn't want to go clock in nowhere. I knew I didn't want to ask no one for time off to go on a break. And so I had to really try to figure out what I can do.
Right.
And you showed up, man, on the YouTube.
Let's go. I mean, I think that part of your story is inspirational. I always talk about money. I lead right out of the gate. She made $5,500 part-time. But the funny part is I actually don't think the money is the best part about the business.
No.
I think the best part about the business is the freedom. It's being able to make $5,500 a month around the other things that are very important to you. And so if you're talking about that, I think that's important because you are 58 and you're a mom, you're a daughter, you're a wife. And so, this business, yes, $5,500 in 25 hours a week is great. That's great. But that's not the best part. So Talk about
Oh,
what else you juggle around this unbelievable part-time business you built.
man, when you said freedom, that's it right there. Because, this year has been kind of tough. My son was involved in he was in a bad car accident, right? In January. And when you get that call, that your kid is hurt, man. And I think about if I worked at the post office still, they wouldn't have been understanding that I had to take off and take care of my kid, and then, but thank God he's making it through. But he had a major surgery last month and he's still healing. And he's back home. He was living his life, 27, living his life with a roommate, but now he's back home. But to see that he's thriving again and to be able to take him to the appointments and do all this and still build this business is phenomenal. And now my mom, she was in a hospital last week and she's here. And I'm still able to care for my family and do this. Can't ask for nothing else, man, and freedom.
That's the best part about this business. This moment you just shared with me is why I do what I do, right? I try to skid on a pedestal and say, this is the best business no one's ever heard of. And it's not because of how much money you make, it's the freedom you get, right? And so I just want to say, from one parent to another, I couldn't imagine that phone call, if I had to be honest. And so
Yeah,
you could be there for him, still have a thriving business and not
yeah,
work. You don't want to work, but then work when you want to work because you still
yeah,
need that money to come in because now you have another mouth to feed and now you have another one with your mom. And so,
yeah.
thank you for sharing that because I want people to realize that you can build this business around your life.
It's just a blessing to be able to be here for my family and still do something that I really love to do. And because towards the end of my postal career, I really didn't. I felt like my job was done at the post office,
Mm,
and I was asking that, Lord, I know this just can't be my life.
mm,
And so I knew it was time for me to go. And so to feel such fulfillment now,
mm.
man,
Good
this
word.
is just, oh man, it's just a blessing right now. Even through all the trials we've been going through, I still feel so blessed.
Thank you for sharing. And I think another part of your journey that's inspiring is, you're retired. You
Yeah.
told us you went into a tailspin. So your first kind of gut was like, oh, let me be a realtor. And again, I say that because, being a notary might not be as glamorous as being a realtor, but what you just shared is the best part about being a notary.
I've been a licensed realtor for 20 years, but I haven't practiced for 4. And I got burnt out because, I got burnt out of driving people around. You got to spend money on board dues, even if you're not selling. You got to buy your signs. You got to buy the cookies for the open house. It's a hustle. It's a grind.
Yeah.
And I thought about becoming a notary years ago, but during the pandemic, before the rates went up, we refied our house. And that's when I really start talking to the notary, and
Mhm.
she started telling me how much she made, how much she was making per that signing. And I was like, say what?
Ah!
I was like, it's not just
Yeah.
$15. And then the rest is history, Mark.
If there's somebody else who was, in that dark time that you were, a few years ago, if
Mhm.
someone's feeling that right now, what would you say to them to help them through that moment?
I would just say, keep going. Do your research. Listen, what really helped me too is when I start watching your videos and I start watching people tell their story, and I start watching people saying how they did it and they were 60, they were 40, I think someone was like 68. And
Yeah.
I'm like, come on now. That gave me hope because I'm like,
Mhm.
if they could do it, I can do it.
JoAnn can build this business. Can anybody and why?
Anybody could do it. And the reason why, if you got, honey, if you can take a pen and you can stamp a piece of paper and you can flip through some documents and read the paragraph. You ain't got to read the whole thing, just read the little paragraph. Anybody
Yeah,
could do it now.
I love
Anybody
it.
could do it.
You're the best. I mean, okay, let me transition to your income journey because I think it's inspiring as well. 58. Let's talk about that if you don't mind. And
Okay.
do you feel like being in your late 50s, approaching your 60s is any hindrance to you being a successful signing agent?
It has not at all. I mean, if anything, I think it might have helped me because they see someone that's experienced, someone that has a
Mm,
life journey, someone that could relate to possibly their clients,
mm.
someone that can just do the job. And I have not felt that it was a hindrance at all.
Let's take people back to the beginning. 2022, your first month in the business, how much money did you make?
$320.
Why didn't you think that that was a failure?
Oh, I felt great about that 300 because I'm a math girl, I'm a numbers girl. So I'm like, okay, it only took me a few hours to make that $300. I never made, $100 in an hour, 30 minutes. Come on. And then I related how long I would have had to work at the post office to make 320.
What I love about what you just said there is everything was relative. And so what
Yes.
you do is you give it perspective. I don't think enough people
Yes.
do that. So I hope everybody heard what she just said and that's what successful people do. It's all about perspective, about what kind of lens are you looking through? And I love your answer. It's like at the post office, I'd make, $100 in a day, whatever the number was. And so you put a
Yes.
lens on it. And I
Yes.
think a lot of people can take that takeaway from that statement. So thank you so much. So what'd you make over the next few months?
The next month I made 1,400. The following month in May, I made 1,600. And June 1,400, July 1,900. I was balling in
Oh, okay. So
19.
the first 6 months, you're floating around 15 to 1,700 bucks. Let's just call it like that.
Yes.
It took you about a year. I'm looking at my notes until you really kind of got to that $3,000-4,000 a month. Could you imagine how different your life would be if you would have thrown in the towel because $1,000 a month part-time wasn't enough for the first year?
I just like setting goals and hitting them.
Mm,
As a matter of fact, I like setting goals and blowing them out the water, actually. I do. I just like to blow it up. And if I didn't do it this month, it's next month. I just love doing that because I
mm.
feel like if I can do it, I can help motivate and inspire other people to do it.
What of your percentage is direct with realtors, lenders, escrow officers, and what percentage of your business is with signing services?
I would say about 25% is direct, and
Okay.
then the 75% is signing services.
Well, let's break that down. Okay. But I love this again, part-time signing agent, part of it's direct, part of it's signing service. I'm not, a lot of people think I'm anti-signing service. I am pro revenue. Okay. So I love that you created revenues on both sides of the aisle. Again, when you walk into these title companies, do
Mhm.
you feel like your age is a hindrance at all to them taking you serious as a signing agent, especially a brand new signing agent back in 2022? No.
Well, as far as being brand new, because the first day that I had my signing, my very first signing was March 17th. That day, I went and market right after I did that signing because I was on fire. I was like, let's do this. And no, my age didn't. No one at first, you play all these scenarios in your head. What if they ask you if you're new? What if they ask you how many? No one never did.
No.
And if they did, I was ready for the response. I'm
Mhm.
like, I'm highly trained. I'm LSS certified. I was ready. Now I
I
might have forgot everything that I said when I was planning to go in there, but I went in there and I brought my little St. Patrick's Day treats because it was St. Patrick's Day.
Mhm.
I made all that, got things, and I was ready. My age didn't hinder at all.
My biggest take, what you just said, is what I try to teach people, and that is momentum creates momentum.
Yes.
Her first signing ever, she's like, I'm ready to go direct. She rode that wave of emotion. What happens is
Yeah,
we get high and we choose to go home and we naturally drop down, and then you're not inspired to
exactly.
motivate. You let those thoughts pop back in your head. But you
Hmm.
understood, and I attribute that to your wise years, is like, look, I'm hot right now. 75% of your business is signing service. Looking at my notes down here. Of the 75%, how much of that is repeat business? Like the signing service owner is calling you specifically.
I would say probably about 60, 65%.
Okay. What do you attribute that to?
I think it's because the way I treat their clients and the way I take the initiative to, if I get a text message saying it's a sign-in, I hurry up and I call. I'm like, hey girl, I'm available. Oh, JoAnn, I was hoping you respond. And and plus I love customers. I love customer service. And it's really important to me to provide a great customer signing experience. So with the feedback from their customers saying that they really liked me and they felt like they were dealing with a family member at the table, that's the best feeling. I know I provide a great customer service and a great signing experience each and every time.
When news travels upstream about the service you provide, then that's why you get repeat business.
Yes.
And so, walk a new signing agent through like JoAnn's version of a good customer experience.
What it is making sure that the person in front of you feels like you care and not you're just there to do a job and be done and go home. Feel like you really care, feel like you're taking their time with them and trying to direct them to where they can find the answers to their questions. And if you notice that they feel uncomfortable, suggest that they call their lender to get clarification if they still don't understand the verbiage in front of them. And if you can't answer the question, they still have other questions. I always make sure to tell them, hey, don't feel like you're rushed because I'm sitting in front of you. Let's get the answer you need so you can feel better. And that's what I say as far as providing a great customer service.
I mean, you got a playbook in customer service. You got a playbook in soft skills. And I think what's lost in this business is the signing agents who don't have soft skills. The soft skill is like, look, don't feel any pressure from me. Like, I'm here all day if you need me to do it. Let's transition to the next thing, is what is your number one tip to get more business for somebody watching this video right now?
First, if you brand new and you signed up for all these signing services and your phone finally dings with a text message, don't wait for them to pick you. You call because you're taken out of some headaches and stress for them because now they don't have to respond and look at everyone that replied to that text message. They'll say, hey, she took the initiative. Let's give it to her. And then secondly, go out there and really market yourself.
So, I mean, my guess is that you're 2 years in and you still call the notifications. So it's not necessarily just advice for a new notary, but your advice, I want to unpack what you just said so everybody heard it crystal clear. Your advice to get more business through signing services is when you get a notification, you pick up the phone, you call them and ask for the signing. So what I call that is you're not trying to win the lottery. Too many signing agents are like, oh, I'm just going to let the algorithm, the software judge whether I get an appointment or not. No, a really good business owner takes the business into their own hands. They're like, look, you don't know me, but you're about to get to know me. And that's different. So I hope everyone just heard that. If you don't know what to say and you're a loan signing system student, the scripts are in the course. But the truth of this is it's not about the scripts, it's about you making the effort because you said it right, JoAnn. They're like, wow, this person took the initiative.
Take the initiative. Introduce yourself. Just say, hey, I received this notification. Just wanted to let you know I'm available. If it's still available, I'm here to help you. And even if they say that was already a sign, they'll remember you. They'll remember you. And they're like, we got you on the next one.
Let's kind of wrap up with this. You're 2 years in the business. I'm looking down my notes again, and it took you about 14 months to really hit that $3,000 to $4,000 a month part-time. What would you whisper to the young signing agent JoAnn to help her put gasoline on her business?
Pick up the phone, introduce yourself, and don't wait for them to choose you. You choose them by picking up the phone and introducing yourself. And number two, go out there and market. Market yourself, introduce yourself, and don't stop. Be consistent. And then every time, Mark, I swear, every time I call, shoot a text message, hey, I'm here if you need me, you better believe most all the time, because it's 3 escrow officers that use me, most all the time, if not that day, the next day, JoAnn, can you do this one? It's kind of like you're reminding them.
Yes.
That you're available.
What I really heard was be more consistent on your follow-ups.
Most definitely.
And so I want everybody to hear that because I think you're right, JoAnn. I loved your honesty that in the beginning, you wouldn't really be good at following up. Now you're 2 years in, you follow up like crazy. And so all you really need to do is remind them that I am here. It's the fortune is in the follow-up. And sometimes we say it, but we don't do it.
Yes.
And now that you do it later on in your career, you realize that I just been a little bit more consistent on my follow-up earlier in my career. I could have maybe made $4,000 a month in my 6th month instead of my 12th month. And so really good piece of advice right there. I'm very thankful for it. What do you mean by market all the time? Explain that to the audience.
Even if I like to go in and just say, hey to everybody, I just dropped this off for you guys. And a lot of people get caught up, and I understand everyone don't have the money. You don't have to spend a fortune. I have made little bags from the $1.25 store, because it ain't dollar no more.
Yeah.
So I made little bags, made my little sticker with a B on the back, and I put a dollar scratcher in it. Oh my God. They were so excited about that. They couldn't wait to tell me they won $2. Even if I don't have anything, I just stop in and say, hey, you guys, I'm here. I know you guys have your regular notary, but when they're on vacation, when they're busy, I can help you.
As you mature into business, some things you just learn through experience. That's just,
Yeah.
it's our best teacher. The reason I do these interviews is hoping you can learn from JoAnn's experience. And so the experience share here is I can't get hired for business if people don't know I'm open for business. And I wish in the beginning, more people would know I'm open for business.
Yeah.
And I want everyone to watch this to accelerate, because JoAnn's telling you, don't do what I did. I'm telling you what I wish I would have done. And I completely agree with that. I hope everyone heard that, is make a commitment. Don't have a scarcity mindset like, oh, on market, I'm not going to get other business, because you're actually going to get future business by maybe missing one closing. You could be making 10 if you market correctly. So I love that piece of advice. What is your favorite part about being a signing agent?
The flexibility, the freedom, man. It's the freedom. And I love meeting people. I love providing a service. I love to play a part in their buying a house, selling a house, getting investment property, doing their trust, whatever I can do. It's the freedom, and I love doing this. When I tell you I love it, come on now. Oh my God, I wish I would have found this when my kids were babies, man.
If it makes you feel any better, I think you came at the right time in your life, because all those life experiences help create businesswoman JoAnn, signing agent JoAnn, because of that. And so your ability to do it scared is easier now than it probably was, when you're big kid babies. And so, I mean, you're a definition of resilience, a definition of perseverance. I'm sending healing vibes to your baby boy, healing vibes to your mama. And I just want you to know that I'm here if you need anything else, and let's keep building, girl.
Let's keep going, Mark.
Let's go. Until next time, JoAnn, thank you so much. Bye. I hope this story inspires you and lets you know what is possible around your full-time work schedule. If you're ready to make extra income part-time, working for your own self as a notary signing agent, then click the link below to get started today. And if you like this video, hit like and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next episode. And as always, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Let's go.